Well, this 4th of July, we are looking back at the advances America has made during her lifetime. Just one example, this year marks the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act. Somehow, over all of these years, the dreams of our founding fathers remain alive. Doug Wead is a presidential historian and author of All the President's Children. He joins us now here in our studio. It's a treat having you here in our studio today. Thank you for being with us this holiday weekend. Let's talk for a moment about, obviously, this is a very special time that America reflects on its freedom. I know this is the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act, so that also brings special meaning to this particular celebration that we're having right now.
Yeah, it does. We started on this road for independence on July 4th, but it's a journey. There were still slaves when the Declaration of Independence was accepted, and women's rights, and so it's a journey. Emma Goldman says that you only have as much liberty as you have intelligence to want and courage to take. And so it's a never-ending process. Today, a lot of people are dependent on government, on independence.
Yeah, absolutely. But Thomas Jefferson saw the role of government as being quite limited.
He did. He did. Jefferson said the more you use power, the less you have. I think Dick Cheney might have thought he was an isolationist. He responded to the Barbary pirates, which were the Islamic terrorists of his day, but he wasn't pushed into war. He didn't want to have war, and he didn't like a heavy involvement of federal government.
And speaking of war, I've always thought it's quite fascinating how our Union stayed together, how the nation stayed together during the tumultuous years of the Civil War, particularly the way Lincoln held the country together. How was Independence Day celebrated back during that time, 1863 particularly?
Yeah, you know, it was uninterrupted. It was the first year of the war. Lincoln gave an address to Congress. Congress passed a resolution calling for 500,000 soldiers. And then the 1863 that you mentioned, we had just fought the Battle of Gettysburg, and Lee's soldiers were coming to the South. The North thought, hey, I think we've won. But Lincoln had been so disappointed so many times, he refused to address the nation on July 4th. He wanted to make sure they'd really won. And that very day, we won the Battle of Vicksburg. The South was cut in two. It was a turning point in the war. So Lincoln gave his July 4th address 3 days after July 4th,
but
to be sure.
But don't you reflect as a historian how remarkable it is to even have those celebrations at all, July 4th celebration during that time of war?
They go on uninterrupted. You know, the most fascinating thing to me, Uma, is that in the 18th century, there were two political parties, the Federalists, the Democrat Republicans. They celebrated the 4th of July separately all over America in states, villages, and cities. So we think today where it's real partisan and it's mean and it's deadlocked. But imagine Democrats and Republicans, at least we get together on the 4th of July and celebrate together.
At least one day out of the year. Well, it's great. It's a great day to celebrate certainly our freedoms and our gifts that we have as one nation. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.